On AM 1130, 99.9 FM, Prescott, Chino Valley, and Paulden, 95.5 FM, Prescott Valley and Cottonwood, the talk of the Quad Cities, KQNA. It's HammerTime. Waking up with the YCCA. HammerTime is brought to you by Lawhorn Plumbing, Verde Valley Alarm Services, Earthworks Landscape and Supply, Prescott Home Safety, Greenlee Designer Services, Get Right Mitigation, Franklin Plumbing, The Blind Brothers, Caltex, Vicente Landscaping, Barrett Propane, and Badger Roofing. And now from the studios of KQNA, it's HammerTime, waking up with the YCCA. Here's the Executive Director of the Yavapai County Contractors Association, Sandy Griffiths.
Everybody, good morning, and it is time for Hammer Time.
Indeed it is.
Yahoo, at 7 a.m. So get those feet on the floor, get your coffee going, get your oatmeal cooking, and sit down and ready to roll with Mike and me through the airwaves. It's February.
It's not deja vu yet.
It's not deja vu. Next week it'll be deja vu.
Will be.
It's February. Can you believe
That's
it?
hard to believe. It really is hard to believe.
How many days till Christmas?
A lot.
Come on, Wingman Mike.
330 roughly, give or take.
Okay, that's good. Okay, good. What's new? Don't tell me you're busy.
Well, okay, I won't. So nothing's new then.
Life is good.
It's great.
Our weather that we had at the beginning of the week was kind of chilly and nice.
It was a nice change of pace.
Very refreshing. All is great. Lots of meetings going on this past week and problems to solve and new adventures every day.
And you certainly have the answers.
I try to. Sometimes I have to look them up, but I have the answers. We have two great guests with us this morning. We're going to talk about home energy audits. We're going to talk about air leakage. We're going to talk about pesky critters eating wires.
And that's a fact.
I had no idea you were so in tune to that. So our show last weekend with Nicole was awesome. With the Housing Committee. That was a great meeting we had this past Thursday night. So she's a lovely woman, and we're so happy to have her in our community.
Yep, very informative and very engaged.
What did you think about the football games?
I really didn't have a dog in the hunt, but the Eagles was kind of a blowout.
That was too much of a blowout.
But the other game, the second game.
I watched the other one.
That was pretty darn good. I thought Buffalo might pull it out, but it's tough to beat KC.
Wow, it was so cool, wasn't it? I mean, I don't even like football, but it was such a good game.
It promises to hold our attention for the Super Bowl. I think that's going to be a good game.
So anyway, take us to break, and when we come back, we will introduce the world, the universe, to two magnificent gentlemen.
Sounds like a plan to me. You're listening to Hammer Time, brought to you by Yavapai County Contractors Association, and we're pleased to be airing on Talk of the Quad Cities, KQNA 1130 AM, 99.9 FM, and 95.5 FM. So fill up that cup of coffee or grab that OJ, get settled in. Don't turn that dial because we'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Hammer Time. So let us, right out of the gate, introduce you to our two guests this morning, Mr. Mike.
Perfect.
We have Ricky Fairbairn.
I'll take them all.
But by the end of the show, you'll get it.
He's a very fair bear. Ricky is an energy audit with Advantage Home Performance. Ricky Fairbairn.
There you
and
go.
A much easier name, Loren Christopher. Welcome, Loren.
Thank you for having us.
Loren is the Prescott branch manager for Advantage Home Performance.
Cool.
So Fairbairn is Scottish, English,
That is
German?
Scottish.
What?
Yes.
Fairbairn.
Scottish. Yes. Baron for baby child, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a fair child.
You're a little baby.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk Advantage Home Performance. let's just get right into it. How important are energy audits?
Energy audits can be very important, and one of the recommendations for anybody even considering solar to get done first too as well. Because energy audit is a whole home approach where we kind of break down everything you got, but to understand how your home performs, from the way that you use your energy to the performance of your house, as far as the way your HVAC equipment can work and the performance of your insulation and thermal boundary of the home. But it's also the air tightness of the home that can affect how insulation performs, how HVAC performs. But a lot of people, also want to know as far as their energy usage and how to break that down and what they pay to like APS, local utility up here too as well. And an energy audit can help you understand how much energy is drawn between appliances, HVAC, because that's things that we try to break down for, customers to understand how they're being charged with their utility, but by the way that they use their energy. And that's can be very informative.
Wow, you sound like a rocket scientist.
I think he knows his business.
I know, I'm so impressed. The Wikipedia. Lauren, how do you handle that genius?
It's not too hard.
Okay, so if you come to my house and I call you for an energy audit, what's the first thing you do?
First is I'd like to get to know you and how you live in your home. So usually I like to sit down and kind of understand how people are using their energy in the home, from right down to your loads of laundry, your dishwasher, how many showers per day you take, what temperature you live at your thermostat for your heating and cooling. Do you have a pool? Do you have an electric vehicle? Everything you got plugged into a base load in your house, which a base load's everything you got plugged in, like phantom draws from cell phone chargers to computers. And we can literally break down all that energy that people use in their home to better understand why the type of bill that they have with APS. And that's the importance of an energy audit.
To look at the bill.
Yes, to understand why you might have a high bill, can't understand it, certain charges. Those are other things, too, that we go over, is what type of plan you're on with APS, or the utility company, understand that bill, how to take advantage of it to maybe be able to use more energy, be more comfortable, but pay less in your energy bill, too.
Now, speaking of APS and energy bills, APS has a great website, and all of that breakdown is on their website, listeners. Time of day and usage and all that good stuff. So, Mike, do you pay attention to when you run your dishwasher?
No.
Most don't.
Not at all.
Lauren, do you pay attention to when you run your dishwasher?
I do, actually, a little
You
bit.
do?
And part of it, as Ricky was describing, is if you can put the time and energy into it, you don't have to, obviously, but if you can put the time and energy into understanding when these peak hours are and what you're paying versus the off-peak hours, if you can leverage that off-peak time, you can put some pretty big dents in your utility costs.
And that's where my bride helps me out, because she does do during the daytime basically non-peak hours as far as washing machine.
So she does all that for
dishwasher.
you.
Correct.
You are so spoiled.
I am indeed.
Yes, I wish my wife was just as understanding. So,
Okay. She doesn't watch peak hours?
No, she does. It's just when it comes to cooking, if you got electric stove, she says, if I want a meal, she's going to have to cook. So, I can't, say anything about that. I do like food.
We do have to draw out the line as far as saving a few wattages versus going hungry for 3 or 4 hours. It's better to waste a couple.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
For the sake of our stomachs, sometimes we
it's
have
worth
to
a
make
good
that
meal.
sacrifice.
Yep, exactly.
So then when you go to a customer's house, you ask all these questions, and
Correct.
then you come out with a scorecard at the end of the meeting, and what is...
Yeah, it's not necessarily a scorecard, but it's helping people by the way that they live, because everybody's different, depending on the type of temperature they live to, whether they work, they don't, or they stay at home work, everybody's got their own lifestyle. So the whole purpose of the energy audit is to understand how they live and how they use their energy, to come up kind of with a game plan to help them be able to save, be more comfortable, or identify things that in their behavioral usage that they might be doing wrong that's costing them. Because sometimes it's not necessarily a performance issue. It could be by the way that they're using their energy, not understand with that type of plan that they're on that it's costing their bill to be higher. And so we kind of educate them on that side to better understand how they're being charged with the type of plan that they chose, or maybe they didn't realize they're on that type of plan, but for them to be able to save energy and also be more comfortable too as well.
One of the things I was surprised at, but I have to give them kudos, is APS sent out last year, I think it was pretty close to the end of the year anyway, it's just an energy audit on our home saying if you would have been on this plan, you would have saved X amount of dollars annually. And kudos to them for doing that.
You want to know what? That's exactly right.
Required.
Yeah, exactly. And APS has been doing that for a while. And what I do realize for most of my energy audits is that a lot of people are on paperless now. So, if people get this link and, are not spending the time with maybe that link or open the bill to get this information, but they are giving good information on the utility bill and with those emails to help you identify with, how much savings you could have had by switching just a plan. If you had an increase in your energy, what is your demand depending on your plan, but they are giving you tools and information. It's just reading that bill to understand it, to catch something to where, you're not wasting money or energy because they are truly trying to help you.
So.
I like when I get my APS bill and it shows you month by month where you were the previous month and where you were last year. And it's like, yes, I'm under last year.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
I know it is. So how long does it take to do an energy audit?
So it can depend on the size of the home, whether you have an attic space or not, because we
do
are
you go
looking.
in the attic?
We do go in that. It's my favorite part of the job. At least I'm supposed to say that. My manager's here, so.
Okay.
Hopefully you do that in the early mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the summertime.
to,
I appreciate that one. But yeah, no, we look at everything. And typical in an energy audit, done right, they can range anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. They're very detailed and informative.
Do you charge for energy audits?
So being a part of the APS program, so it's a $99 energy checkup as they advertise it, which this has actually got a value of, can be up to $300 truly.
Perfect.
So it is really a good special that, this program offers for people to take advantage of, because it's, until you do it, you'll be surprised on how detailed, informative, and helpful it is for you in your home based on how you live.
So, Loren, how long have you been with Advantage Home Performance?
I've been with Advantage Home Performance for 20 years this year.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
How much of that up here in Prescott?
All of it.
All of it?
100%. I go down to Phoenix to help out occasionally with strange jobs or training employees, but for the most part, I'm up here in Prescott.
Very good.
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
You've seen a lot then from our way we used to build homes to our relatively tight homes that we're building nowadays?
Absolutely, yeah. There's been a big change from the early 2000s when things were very blow and go and everybody was knocking houses out as fast as they could and little attention to insulation or air sealing details. And now that's a very different situation in the new construction.
Conservation back in the early 2000s was an unknown word.
Yes,
basically.
Yes. So we're insulation inspections.
So if you could share one thing to our listeners about energy performance or energy saving, being in the business for 20 years, what would that be? Something that we should all probably take advantage of. When Mike goes home, he should do it. When I go home, I should do it.
Well, I think one of the biggest things is just to have your attic and or your crawl space inspected by somebody who knows more than just a single trade. You can have an insulation guy look at your insulation, and that may be helpful. You could have an HVAC guy look at your ductwork, but a lot of HVAC guys are more focused on HVAC equipment than they are ductwork, and certainly duct leakage. So having somebody who has a comprehensive understanding of your house, look over those areas that we don't think about very much unless there's a roof leak or some sort of emergency, is certainly something to consider, because there can be some pretty big savings from an energy perspective and some pretty big comfort improvements as well. If your house especially is more than 10 years old, there's often some pretty big opportunities there.
So I guess then, if I'm reading between the lines correctly, everybody should get an energy audit. I think that's what he was saying between the lines, right?
I don't know if everybody needs an energy audit, but I think everybody
For only
should.
$99, we should.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We have to take a break.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Hold on to that $99. We'll be right back. Ricky Fairbairn.
Yes.
Yes.
You like that?
I
That
like
sounds
that.
good.
And Lauren Christopher and Mr. Mike Enders and me. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging with us while we took a little commercial break for our sponsors because they keep us on air.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys, I always tell a construction joke, but here's one I don't get.
Oh, that's interesting.
Why do construction workers always stay calm? Oh, maybe I get it now. They know how to keep it together. So that means that they know how to keep the house together from
All their parts. Yep.
all their parts and pieces.
together.
I like that.
That'll work.
Is that... At first
I don't know,
didn't
1 to
get-
10. We'll give you a
It's
5 on that one.
Oh, no, I think that's probably a -2. At first, I didn't get it. And then when I read it, okay, onward. Let's go home improvement,
Inspection.
home inspection, energy audits. What is one of the biggest things you see, Ricky, that folks aren't doing that would be a really easy fix in an energy audit, and they have no idea that they're escaping and losing all this energy and good stuff?
One is definitely getting your HVAC duct tests did, for
yes.
leaks
Okay,
and things.
good
'Cause
point.
that is a common overlooked thing during even new home construction. They're testing pressure, temperature, the thermostat gets a green, shuts off, but not how much is lost along the way. So, even U.S. Department of Energy states that most homes in the U.S. have leaky ductwork. It's just not part of building phase or part of the construction to test that to see if it leaks or not, and that's your largest consumer in the home. So, if you're losing anything there, that's going to be a big contributor to loss of energy, higher costs, but also dust or air quality because it's recirculating in your home, and a lot of ductwork's up in an attic or in an unconditioned space,
Right.
where you got one side's a vacuum, one side's a supply. So it really can help out, but maximize the efficiency of your air conditioning and heating system too as well. So because that does diminish the efficiency of that new unit, especially if you got a new one on and no one's tested the ductwork. It could be the way it's installed or connected. Maybe they missed something if they didn't test it because you can't see it. Sometimes a jacket or something might be covering up a gap or a leak, and that's making that system work harder, especially bringing in a warmer, cooler temperature, whether it's winter or summer. Across that coil or furnace, and it's going to make that run longer, and you don't realize it's just due to a leak or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
Well,
that
let's-
leakage penalizes you year round.
Yeah.
It's either when you're air conditioning
Right.
or when you're heating. So
Well, let's ask the builder on the show with us. What do you do to ensure that your ductwork is not leaking?
at the rough-in stage, one thing that a builder should be doing is going around and inspecting to make sure that they've masticed all the joints,
Yes.
that you've got a good, tight system.
And do you do that?
I do. And you can also certainly do the pressure test at the tail end. But there's just a lot of common sense things you can do. But I just want to touch base on one of the things that was brought up as far as leaky ductwork. People think, well, gosh, that's in the walls or that's in my attic. I can't do anything about it. But you can. And there are systems out there, which I'm sure they'll get into, that you can do to improve the efficiency of the airflow in your ductwork as well as sealing it.
Perfect.
yes,
Well, then, do we give him an A+ as a home builder or what?
always.
Okay, A+ to you, Mr. Mike
plus,
Enders. Plus. Lauren, should we give him an A++?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ductwork, if it's done up front and done properly, I mean, that's
That's
a
a biggie.
wonderful thing.
Okay, cool.
But if there's problems in an existing system, I would say 9 out of 10 homes we can make significant improvements to.
So, when you go do an energy audit, do you check the ductwork for leakage?
We do.
And how do you do that?
Yeah, so we have equipment to test that. So
Okay.
yes, blower door equipment, and we can do through a subtraction method where we kind of do a negative pressure test in the house, which is going to pull air through all the ductwork in the home.
And you do that with your $99?
Yes, we do.
Oh my gosh, listeners, this is
Yes.
a huge cost savings.
It's huge. It's definitely worth it.
Yes, it's $99 to get that alone
Yes.
is worth it.
Yes, it is.
Amazing.
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
No, you keep going. You're doing great. Great job, Sandy.
So once you find those leakages, what do you do then to
Thank
correct
you, Mike.
Yeah, so then we'll make recommendations, and even the power company like APS, local utility, is actually contributing towards repairing or sealing up ductwork if that's found. So it just depends on what the circumstance is or issue is with the ductwork that needs to be corrected, whether it's needs to be replaced or sealed with mastic like you had mentioned, or closing up cavities, if it's part of a chase or in a wall, so it's not exposed to other penetrations. But we do offer those services to correct it and test it and make sure it's done correctly.
I did not realize that APS would participate. That's great.
I didn't either.
Yes, they actually contribute money towards sealing up ductwork. So that's part of the APS energy audit. So the energy audit, kind of identifies issues, but the power company is actually contributing funds towards energy efficient upgrades. So duct sealing is one of them.
Super.
Yes.
Okay, so Lauren, have you had an energy audit?
I have not had one on my house, actually.
Ricky, you just said that on air. We all know.
I did, but I will say that I have done partial energy audits on my personal house when I've been training employees and that over the years. So my house isn't quite as energy efficient as it could be, but it's closer than a lot of them.
I'll help him out. That just says he's a hardworking man. He's just too tired when he gets home. So, everybody understands that point.
Okay. Absolutely. I don't have time to do an energy audit on my house.
That's right. Most contractors don't want to do work on their own houses.
Oh, thank you very much.
I know. I know.
Yep.
He has pink flamingos in his yard.
Ooh, I like that.
He's too tired to do plantings.
Yeah.
And he can't get his cars in his garage because he has so much stuff in there.
Wow.
It's a contractor's bane of existence.
That's right.
That sounds like
That's
most
right.
people. It's the storage.
What? So, Ricky, how long have you been with Advantage Home Performance?
So I've been with Advantage since September. So
Okay,
I've been
perfect.
doing the energy audits and checkups with APS and utility companies for over 15 years now.
Okay.
So I did it with my father-in-law for many years. He retired, so he's finishing up some projects with family and stuff like that. And I've known Mike, the owner of Advantage, for 15 plus years. So really liked him, and recently I've moved up to Prescott area here in September and really love it up here, and I have family up here. So, but been down in the valley in Phoenix, and now I'm here and I'm really enjoying it and continued on doing what I love. And Advantage Home Performance is definitely my home, and I love working for him.
Super. I didn't know if Mike was still involved or not. So
He's such a genius, Mike Uniac.
Yes.
The guy is the
guru.
The Wikipedia of all things energy.
Yes.
Totally, he is.
Yep.
I wonder if he came out of the womb that way.
I bet he did. With a meter probably stuck to his hip.
He is pretty perfect.
Listeners, we have to take another break. You'll hear some messages from our sponsors. So Ricky, Lauren, Mike, me, and the engineer will be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
We're back on air with Mr. Ricky Fairbairn and Lauren Christopher. They are with Advantage Home Performance, and we're talking about energy, how you can save money, APS, peak hours. You really need to go to their website and try to use your dishwasher, wash clothes, and all that good stuff during their peak and off-peak hours.
Timing.
I wonder what their off-peak is for cooking to use this stove.
Well, so here's the one
What?
kind of inside information about
Okay,
the
all right, cool.
on peak.
Okay.
4 to 7 with APS. They
Is
have
on or off?
is on peak. So
4
your
to
charge
7.
4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday is their on peak, where you're charged a higher rate depending on your
Okay.
plan. If you're on the time of use plan or the time of use with demand plan. So those are the two on peak off peak plans that APS
That's right,
offers.
during when you want to cook.
I know.
Strangely enough.
Yes. So, okay, not saying that you don't have to cook. My wife will still cook, just so everybody knows. But if you're on the demand plan, how APS charges that demand plan is the top of every hour. So, for instance, you can avoid or lower your demand peak if you watch the time that you cook. For instance, let's say you bake something in the oven for 30 minutes and it uses 2 kilowatts of power. If you actually put it in the oven at 4:45 p.m., ran it till 5:15 p.m., The 2 kilowatts would be divided in half, or a kilowatt in each hour. So if you're on the demand plan in the summertime, you could save $19.56, and in the wintertime, $13.70. So
just by running it,
just by splitting the power at the top of the hour. So if you absolutely got to do something that's a top user between 4 and 7 p.m., if you split the power at the top of the hour, watch it, you actually could save money at the end of the month.
Interesting.
Yes, but that's how the demand is actually
Listeners,
used.
that was proprietary.
It's a hidden secret.
That is a secret. Okay, say it one more time. No.
Yeah, I'll keep saying it, so save you money.
Kilowatts.
Yes.
Wow, how cool is that?
Yes, that is correct. A lot of people don't know that, but that's how the demand charge works.
So weekend, Saturday and Sunday, it's free for all, and you can do whatever you want.
Pump it out.
Whoa, cook all day.
Cook all day. Run the pool, everything like that.
Do the dishes, do the laundry.
Yes. And one other thing to take advantage of right now with the winter time for APS, if you are on the time of use or time of use with demand, is winter is from November to April, but they have what they call as a super off-peak. So this is their cheapest rate of the year, where it goes down to 3.4 cents, 3.5 cents if you want to call it, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And this is where you really want to do your most amount of laundry, dishwasher, any top users. Use as much as you want.
Who is at home that they could do that? Mike, could I give Patty a key to my house and she could come and do my laundry?
That's between you two.
Yeah. Unless you program it. If you have newer equipment, you can program times and different things like that. But yeah, that's to take advantage. If you have a pool or spa or something like that, program a lot of your cleaning times or things that are top users during that. It really takes advantage of that rate.
So I have a question as far as, let's say you've got a working couple, both are gone during the daytime.
Yes.
And so they've got a programmable thermostat.
Yes.
Is there a magic number as to what the differential in their comfort, let's say that they're comfortable at 70 degrees
Yep.
when they get home.
Yep.
Is there a magic number that they should not go below because of the amount of energy it's going to take to get it boosted back up? In other words, if they drop it from 70 to 62 during the day, are they better off to drop it down to 55, or are they better off to drop it to 66?
So on a savings standpoint, it really, each homeowner is different. So there's no magic temperature for everybody is one thing, because everybody's comfort's different. But APS does talk about online about a pre-cooling, like in the summertime when people run air conditioning. It is, costs you more obviously in the summertime. But pre-cooling is where you do drop that thermostat to a cooler degree from what your comfort level is, to where what you're trying to avoid is to not run the air conditioning from 4 to 7, or minimize that to avoid that demand or less on peak where you're charged a higher rate. So really it goes with the performance of your home, where a lot of people are trying to take advantage of that 3 hours, since it's not very long, is if your home's performing very well as far as your insulation, don't have a lot of leaks, some people will drop it anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees to where when that's turned off, or a higher degree between the 4 and 7, their system doesn't run 4 to 7, so they're not using their top energy consumer between that time frame to avoid that demand charge and peak, and it's literally can save people hundreds in the summertime.
Yeah, but they could inadvertently think that they're doing the right thing by programming, but not having it catch up until 5 o'clock. If they miss that window prior to 4, and they have that system coming back on to bring the cooling back down,
Yep. So
then that's a problem.
Yes. Yep. And every home's different. It just depends on how many degrees it's going to swing to how hard that system's got to work and what everybody's comfort level is, because sometimes the husband and wife are on different temperatures, so.
So Sandy's wheels are turning already. She's saying, okay, so in the summertime, I want my house to be cool, but if I've got to look at the demand cycles, then that means I have to leave the office about 3 o'clock so I can get home, turn my thermostat to where I want it, and it'll quit cooling or heating by 4 o'clock.
This is way too complicated, you guys.
I know, and I can get it more complicated, but there's a lot of tips and stuff.
This is like a trigonometry class, and you have to walk around with the pad and a pencil. I know. Listen, I just have mine set at 72, period.
Yep.
Just leave it at that.
I just leave it at that.
And you know what? There is one other information for people that can't swing their temperature very much, dropping it and increasing it. That, like I talked about, if you are on that demand plan where you split your power at the top of the hour, You have to have certain technology to have it. Like if you have a Nest thermostat or an Ecobee and you work with Alexa, it can control the thermostat to do what they call cool bursts. So you could split the power again, like at the 45 hour to the 15, to run 30 minutes of solid cooling time. So, for instance, if you have a 4-ton air conditioning system and it uses 4 kilowatts of power running a kilowatt per ton at a max. So if it was half an hour, that's 2 kilowatts. But if you split it top of the hour, you only ran 1. Yep. But you got 30 straight minutes, and you could do that a couple times between 4 and 7 to where you don't have to change the temperature very much, stay much cooler, but save yourself a lot of money.
I swear, it is. It's like a trigonometry.
I know.
You have got to walk around with the abacus to figure out if you're at the top of the hour.
Just remember, top of the hour. So
if you're splitting the hour, you move 2 beats here, and if you're at the top of the hour, you move 2 beats here.
And you want to know what, Sandy? That's the importance of the energy audit, because this is information overload, so, but we help break that down.
You've given me a headache.
Just all you need to remember is check your thermostat at 15 minutes till. No matter what time of day it is, we'll make it easy for you. At a quarter till, check your thermostat, and if you need to adjust it.
Well, you need me. You just need him.
Yeah. So I check it at a quarter till every hour on the hour.
Well, if you're uncomfortable, if the temperature's gone up or gone down from that season.
Mine just sits at 72.
Okay. Why don't we just leave your temperature at 72 then?
I don't have to get up and sit down and go check it.
Yeah.
I don't need to plug in a cool burst.
And that depends if you're on that plan. So if you're not on that plan, and I'm not recommending that, that's why we do the energy audit, to make sure that is the right one for you.
I'm just on a plan where I can cook and eat.
My wife likes that one too.
So, Advantage Home Performance, they're going to be at our home show.
Cool.
Yes,
I know,
I'm excited.
So excited.
Yes, very excited.
And remember several months ago, we had the pharmacist on, Jason Dykstra.
Yes.
Jason is Ricky's brother-in-law.
Oh, really?
That is correct.
Yes. And
yes,
so
he is.
Jason, with all of his pharmacies, is going to be at the home show as well, next to Advantage Home Performance.
They're going to be side by each?
Yes.
Yeah, by the pharmacist guru, and you got the energy guru over here.
Lauren, are you going to be at the home show?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yes.
What type of candy are they going to have?
Ooh.
I don't
The ones
know.
for your heart's desire, I'll tell you. I'm going to have the protein bars, the Snickers, and all the sugary treats to boost those levels.
Okay. Demand performance.
And the brother-in-law sitting over there in the next booth saying, "What the heck are you doing poisoning people with all that sugar?"
Oh, yeah. He's like, wow, my insulin sales are going up.
Okay, listeners, we need to take a break and go figure out my trigonometry here, if I'm the top of the hour or the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Oh my gosh, what a great show this morning. I feel like I've been sent off to CSI Energy School, and I'm going to fail the final exam.
We're just taking you back to math class. That's
Gosh,
all.
you guys, you're such geniuses. Okay, so what do you think about the homes that we're building nowadays? Are they incredibly tight, and are they causing problems, or do we still have air leakage?
It's always still good to get your home always checked, but they are more efficient, more tight. A lot of them using foam and newer technology into the home, so they are better and consuming less energy. But a lot of it still goes down to the behavioral usage of people and the way that they use their home too. That makes a difference too.
Okay, so as Mike is a custom home builder, he can't have an energy audit on his new home because we don't know what the usage is, and we don't know what the family is, and we don't have any appliances ready to go and meatloaf in the oven, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
You could do an energy or a blower door test,
Right.
which is going to tell you
Okay.
you can check your system for leakage.
Do you do that?
No. Sorry to be so blunt, but actually, and that's a question, because at one point in time that was going to be city county requirement.
Correct.
It is
Code
technically written into the code.
For the city of Prescott. Yes, the city of Prescott.
Yeah, it depends on who's adopted what. It's in a lot of the newer energy codes, but these jurisdictions get to pick and choose which parts of the codes they choose to enforce. And so duct testing and blower door testing, although written into a lot of these newer codes, is not always required. It's not required by anybody around here to my knowledge.
So therefore, would you even consider doing it? Is it a diploma of sorts to give to your homeowner?
Well, it does give some peace of mind to have it quote unquote certified. And while I certainly respect and appreciate both the county and the city, various city and town inspectors, they're only human and they can't catch everything either, as are the builders, because we don't always catch everything. So if nothing else, it could be a good peace of mind.
Yeah, and when you get a new home too, it is good, Sandy, like you said, on don't have the usage of how that person lives or their home's performing. It is good to at least be in the home 6 months, but 1 to 2 years too, just to see how your home's performing, everything worked, but also to break down your energy to find out if it's something that's with the home or the way it's built that's causing that inefficient issue or uncomfortable rooms or whatever it is. You do need to live in it because you're the one that's going to know there's something.
As an energy audit, let's say that they do that in their second year, maybe 22 months they've been in the home. Technically, as a builder, we warrant our product for 24 months.
Yep.
Minimum.
Right.
Yep.
And in most cases, most of us builders will continue to warrant things far beyond that 2 years. But if they wanted to get an energy audit, let's say in month 22, and show that there was leakage, Mr. Builder, need to come in and work with me on sealing my ducts.
Correct. Yeah. Catch issues. Yep.
So Advantage Home Performance, what a marketing tool to reach out to new homes that are a couple years old to get an energy audit for them.
Yes, correct.
I'll help you do that.
All right. Wow. You're just brightening my day.
I think if nothing else, it's good peace of mind.
I know.
Yes, so.
Okay, how about rodents in attics eating wiring and causing energy problems?
Oh, I tell you what, rodents are definitely on the rise, and probably people have seen videos or talking online, but wow, they like to sneak in the areas you just don't even know and can create some havoc and damage.
Yep, and in Prescott, because we have, especially in the upper end custom areas, there are larger lots. And generally speaking, they're not infill lots within the city, so they tend to be in the outlying areas adjacent to national or state land, national forest or state land. So the bottom line is, while you may not see a plethora of rats and field mice if you're living downtown, in some of the newer subdivisions, especially ones that have just been developed, you're going to see that a lot more. And especially when you get into the rats that we were talking about earlier that build the pack rats.
Yeah.
You won't see that downtown, generally speaking, but you sure do see it in the new subdivisions.
Yeah, you're the... they see it as the new hotel on the street, They're all coming, oh, well, look at that. I don't need to build anything. Yeah. So there's looking for
I
a
used
penetration.
to have to live in my little thing that I brought all these twigs and stuff in and my burrow, but now they provided this nice warm attic for me to live in.
Yeah, I'll chew a hole in the ductwork. Now I got heating and cooling.
What nice people.
So, Lauren, what do you like about your job and what you do? I mean, good golly, you've been doing it for 20 years. You must totally love something about it.
Yeah, I really enjoy solving people's problems. I love being able to look at homes from a envelope perspective, not just looking at individual components, but how the house performs as a whole.
Are you like an energy geek?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, a little nerdy when it comes to energy for sure.
But that's a great thing. Not just a good thing, that's a great thing.
It is.
Yeah, so, I love solving problems for people, and quite honestly, working for Advantage Home Performance, I've been there for 20 years because we're a company that treats people and employees well and does the right thing by the community, and I can really get behind that. That's something I appreciate.
Perfect.
Very good.
Yeah, great answer, my friend. That's amazing. So, and Ricky, you've since September, and I'm sure that your philosophy and mentality matches Lauren's and Mike's as well. So that's what makes you guys so special and sets you apart.
100%. It's in our name, Advantage Home Performance, so take advantage of us.
Oh, for $99.
For $99, we'll break her down for you.
APS has been offering that for gazillions of years. A long time.
Yes.
A long time.
Yep. And it's well worth spending the money to understand how your energy is being used so you can be more comfortable and save money.
Okay, after you do an audit and you're finished, do you give the homeowner like a little
They have like a
booklet,
report.
a little report?
Yes, that kind of breaks down energy usage, but recommendations, for upgrades or
cool.
different things like
Okay.
that. Yes, definitely.
So it takes a while to prepare that then after you do your investigation?
It can, yeah. Hopefully you don't have that many issues and, just more on the educating side, but we'll break it all down for you.
Now, APS participates financially, but they don't actually do the audits themselves, correct?
No,
No.
correct. Yeah, they call it participating contractor, so we're a participating contractor of the APS program. So, yes, that's correct.
So don't bother APS, call these guys.
I
That's
know.
right.
And we only have a few participating contractors right here in our area.
Yes.
For a
and-
while, we didn't have any, and I'm so grateful that you guys are back and are doing it.
Correct. Yep.
We're going to keep you really busy. I hope you know that.
Yeah, I hear you're the person to talk with there, Sandy.
Lauren, you're going to be really busy.
You are the community outreach. We love it.
All right.
We can do it. Yes, we can. If somebody wanted an energy audit, do they call your office? What do they do?
Yes, they can call our office. They can go on our website, at AdvantageHomePerformance.com, and they can fill out their information there, and we can contact them. But yes, either way.
What's your phone number?
Let's see. Lauren?
Our phone number is 928-445-3828.
Perfect.
Wow, look at that.
And I know, too, that, Ricky, you've just been so spot on. The last couple weeks, I've had calls from homeowners, energy challenges,
Yes.
and you've just jumped on every one of them. So thank you for doing that. Okay, we have to
Yep.
take a break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Ricky and Lauren, thanks so much for being with Mike and me this morning. This was fantastic.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are all stars of energy.
Yes.
I mean, Wikipedia of energy, rocket science of energy,
That's what we do.
the geniuses of energy, the geeks.
So if anybody has any questions, call Advantage Insulation.
Advantage Home
Or
Performance.
Advantage Home Performance. Sorry, I'm still used to doing Mike's old company.
I know.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, give your phone number out one more time, please, my friend.
Our office can be reached at 928-445-3828.
Call Advantage Home Performance to schedule those energy audits, listeners. $99. What a bargain.
Take advantage.
You know what? That's better than buying a dozen eggs. Don't you get it? Because eggs are so expensive?
Yeah, that's true.
You guys.
That one lost me. But then I don't go do the shopping, so I'll give you a break on that one.
Yeah. And harder to find
Yes.
lately.
Yes, it's easy to find Advantage Home Performance. Easier than it is to
Easier
find
than
a
finding
dozen
a
eggs.
dozen eggs.
Yes. Oh, please point me in the right direction.
Okay, call YCCA 778-0040. We're here to help you any way we can, always and forever. We adore our community. We love our listeners. Thanks for being such raving fans of Hammer Time.
And if you're looking for a dozen eggs, she can point you in the right direction. Or if you need an energy audit, she can point you in that right direction.
Advantage Home Performance. Call Lauren and Ricky. Give your website out.
AdvantageHomePerformance.com.
Okay, schedule those energy audits until next weekend. I'm Sandy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Ricky.
And we say, have a great weekend. Bye. We
Bye-bye.
love you.
Bye-bye.
Time. Thank you for tuning in to Hammer Time. Waking Up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Heard each and every Saturday morning at 7, with an encore presentation Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 1130 at 99.9 FM in Prescott, 95.5 FM, Prescott Valley and Cottonwood, and online at kqna.com. A library of past Hammer Time shows can be listened to on the Yavapai County Contractors website at ycca.org.
Break it down.